Good morning, Grenada. Good day wherever you are on the World Wide Web, live from New York. This is Saturday, December 13th. This is the New York Connection, and I am Harold Pysadee. Now, this morning we'll hear from a former captain of the Republic Bank Angel Harp Steel Orchestra, and if all goes well, we'll be chatting with Raphael Crony on Devon Smith's recall on the West Indies team and more. All happening on the New York Connection. Well, a few weeks ago, we spoke to the band's manager, Republic Bank's Angel Harp Steel Orchestra manager Brian Sylvester from Grenada, to pump things up for the 50th anniversary celebrations planned for the institution come April of next year. And he pointed out that there'll, among other things, there'll be a church service at the St. George's Anglican Church, followed by a brunch, and the actual celebrations will be from April 12th to the 18th. The church service at the St. George's Anglican Church, followed by a brunch, a panel discussion on the history of pan in Grenada. There'll be an evening of exhibition, a pan concert, a rum runner cruise, a dinner and award ceremony, and a cookout on the beach. And even after that, celebrations will continue throughout the year. Republic Bank Angel Harp Steel Orchestra celebrating 50 years as a pan side, and celebrations in April of next year, and that will coincide with the test match West Indies versus England. The Barmy Army have great preparations for Grenada, I can tell ya. Well, I have the pleasure this morning to speak with a former captain of the Republic Bank Angel Harp Steel Orchestra. He was a captain from 1973 to 1977. He lives here in New York, and we all know him as Clevoy Depo Depredine. Morning, Depo.
Morning, Harold. Season greetings to you and your listeners.
Oh, thank you so much, Depo. Of course, Angel Harp's an institution. I need not tell you that, and you have been a captain from 73 to 77. And we're just going to reminisce on the times you had as a captain and even as a player. Now, I know that you are not an old man, but I'm sure that you can. I'm sure that you can go back to 1965, though, if you can, and when the whole genesis of the Angel Harps started with the Hell Scat, the All-Star Steel Percussion Orchestra, Troubadour Steel Orchestra, and Teensville, and what have you, and then everybody gelling to form this thing that was called Angel Harps back then. I mean, that must have been a hell of a period, because you have so many groups coming together to form Angel Harps. Now, I don't know if you can answer this question, Depo, but how did that idea come about to say, you know what, we do not need to have all these bands. Let's do something as one group and call it Angel Harps?
Well, Harold, basically, growing up as a young man, our goal was and our aim was always to be a part of Angel Harps, no matter what other entity we were in. For example, I originally, my original band was Panasonic. Now, Panasonic was more or less a band that the young people played with, and the seasoned people played with Angel Harps. But our goal was always to be a part of Angel Harps. Even in that given area, we had about 3 bands. We had Harptone, we had Panasonic, we had Angel Harps, and we also had an apprentice band on Park Lane. Nap McBurney was the captain of that band, and a lot of the young men around there, that's where they learned to play pan. But our goal was always to be a part of Angel Harps. It was a signature band in the area of the wharf, and when I say the wharf encompassed Canteen, Woolwich Road, Tyrrell Street, Green Street, whatever.
Cooper Hill.
But what happened is in 1969, a few months before I became a member of Angel Harps, my original band, Panasonic, competed against Angel Harps. And we did, that year, one panorama. As we played a song by Trevor Emmanuel. It was a classical piece. It was the first time a steel orchestra attempted to do a classical piece. in a panorama, and Angel Harps did Kitchener the Bull, and we defeated Angel Harps, and from then the rest is history, because by the middle of that year, Panasonic, most of the young men in Panasonic became a part of Angel Harps, and Panasonic moved to the town of St. George's, and unfortunately there was a fire there, and the bands were destroyed. But after the defeat in 1969, most of us, when I say us, I'm speaking of Orlando, Fraser, Maga, and these guys, we became a part of Angel Harps in 1969. And Harptone at that time already had folded, so Angel Harps became the signature band. And that was always our goal, to be part of Angel Harps. And that is how it came about.
So then it must have been a situation where some residents of the area there who wanted to become members of Angel Harps never got the opportunity because so many people wanted to?
No, Harold, you see, the thing with Angel Harps wasn't a band that you walk in and play, just walk in and play. You had to prove yourself.
Mm.
And after we put the lick in on Angel Harps in 1969, there was nothing to prove, We were welcome in because imagine, 15-year-olds, 14, 15-year-olds going up against seasoned players and winning that competition. So after that, we were welcomed with open arms. But it wasn't like, you just come and you play. You had to prove yourself. I mean, the thing is, you have to learn certain techniques. I remember I tried to get into the band as a young boy when George Croney, the original captain and former captain of the band and founder of the band, I couldn't get in because he told me I wasn't using my wrist, I was using my whole hand, and I need to learn, and that's how I ended up in Panasonic, and I was able to develop my techniques. So after winning Panorama in 1969 and joining with Angel Harps, we didn't have to prove anything. We were there, But once you showed potential and you were capable, you became a part of the band, and basically that was it. It was a time when we didn't just want to play pan. It was a time when we loved playing pan.
Got you. Oh, what a difference that is. And what was it that fascinated someone on becoming part of Angel Harps more than anything else? Because I'm looking at a young boy now.
Yeah.
First, getting the answer yes. You have been accepted to be part of the band. When he becomes part of that band, what is the thing that really moves him more than anything else?
Bragging rights. Angel Harps, Angel Harps, just to be a part of Angel Harps was prestigious, Harold. And as I always say, steel orchestras would go into competition. And they go into competition not necessarily to win. They go into competition to beat Angel Harps. So a band might go into competition, Angel Harps might come in like the 5th position, and they would come in 4th. And that would be a victory run for them, So I think it was the caliber of music that Angel Harps produced. I think it was the as I said before, not bashful about that, the bragging rights, because it was the signature band, one of the signature band. Let me say that, because West Side was a very good band, and Comanche was a very good band, and they had a band in Belmont that was very good. But being a part of Angel Harps, you were not only a part of a band, you were part of a family. And I think that was important.
And you got the full endorsement of the parents back then?
No, I cannot say that. There were some. There was some that would look at you with skeptical eyes. But in terms of the community, we had full support within the community because Angel Harps was a community band. And I must emphasize that, a community band. People like Ma Fletch, Miss Fletcher, people like Skipper Bruce, people like even Edward Prophet, Brother B, who was a churchman, although he complained, and Miss Braff, that community environment is what encouraged us. But there were some parents who were skeptical of, in those days it was it was steel band and not steel orchestra, so and there was a certain stigma attached to that. But in terms of the community and parents, I think after a while they accepted that, and is either jail or the Pan House, and I think their preference was the Pan House.
You think that the later Trevor Emmanuel, him being a priest then and also a Pan Arranger, had anything to do with the parents rising in confidence?
I would say that, as though, as the Californian sang, if the priest could play,
That's a good one.
Who is me? And with Father Emmanuel coming in, being a part of the band, that's the latter part of Angel Harp's reign. He coming into the band, introduced a new sort of insight for the people. In doing that, we also had Reagan Ned, who was a young convent girl, approaching the bands so that the band can tutor the convent girls, and that was unheard of. Today you have bands with more or less 65% female played. In my days, you didn't see that. So having convent girls and the type of girls that came to play raised eyebrows. We had people like, believe it or not, we had people like Jennifer Gary, that's, Prime Minister Gary's daughter. We had Jenny Pridham. We had Michelle Hercules.
Well, now the pan really had arrived.
But we were under the watchful eye of one called Sister Gertrude. She was a sister in the convent, and occasionally she would come to the Pan House to do impromptu inspections. More like a general in the barracks coming to inspect the private to make sure. She was a very stern person. Wanted to make sure the environment was right for the young ladies, and we couldn't even chew gum in her presence. That type of environment. But the band evolved, and today you can see it. It's no longer a steel band; it's a steel orchestra. It's no longer an instrument. It's no longer a pan, but an instrument and an institution. So pan has evolved.
Oh, it's really come a long way. Just walking around looking at the involvement. When I go to the Pan House at Angel Harps, I pass around by Peck in town, and I see so much of the young ladies and the young folks involved in it. It can really give you goosebumps. Your ascendancy to the captain of the band depot, 73 to 77, a prestigious position for you. What was that experience like, being the captain?
Well, let me say this, Harold. It was providential. It wasn't like I had to campaign for the job or canvass for the job. The season players began to migrate. Most of them were employed on cruise liners, and some migrated to the U.S. And therefore, there was a vacuum, and for some reason, I know I didn't canvass for it. I know I didn't stand on platform to advocate my availability, but I think it was providential. And when the season players left, I became captain of the band. And although most of the players they were more or less around my age group, because of the respect, not respect for me basically, but respect for those who supported the band I mean, people like Winston Snooks, CPU, and I say Skipper Bruce, Baby Greenwich, the community people who saw the band as part of them. That encouragement, more or less, I placed me in a position that I was able to be the captain of the band. And fortunately, being captain, I wasn't a arranger. We had Angel Harps had several arrangers. We had young Boo Cyrus. We had Arthur Code. We even had Jeffrey Chappell at times coming in. So I was the captain of the band to lead the band, and I think I did a fairly good job, doing so as a young boy. To our credit, we were able to hold the ground. And today you see a steel orchestra that is now tutoring. You see a steel orchestra that is now moving, and that came not by accident, but by dedication and hard work.
Okay, and 50 years on, and Angel Harp still going strong. For those of you who have migrated, like yourself, when you go back and you still see that energy and that legacy still being here today, it must bring some joy to your heart.
Yeah, I must say that, and I just want to encourage the band to bear in mind that they need to do it for the love of it. We basically, Harold, we love playing pan. Not to be seen, we just love playing pan. And to our credit, because of that love, we were able to establish the first steel band record in Grenada, Bright Out of Darkness, in 1971. We were the first band to go on the canopy, I think in 1972 we did that. We did a lot of innovative things that most of the other bands were not able to do, and therefore, I am proud of that. Even in terms of obtaining, I remember, Harold, just quickly, that at the time the band was unsponsored, and we heard talk that LCB was willing to sponsor a band. And to tell you how enthused we were, we decided, myself, CJ, Willie B, I think Carmen McBarnett was a part of it, knowing that I think Comancheros had intention of seeking that sponsorship. And we went to LCB Bank, and we made a pitch, and we were able to obtain that sponsor. And from there, LCB now, it's now Republic, and henceforth, I am proud of that. We were people who not only wanted to please the community, we wanted to leave a legacy, and that Angel Harps was not just Pan Men and a Pan House, but an institution, and so it bear out.
Depo, thank you very much. Remember that Angel Harps 50th anniversary celebration from April 12th to 18th in Grenada. Church service at the St. George's Anglican Church, followed by a brunch, a panel discussion on the history of Pan in Grenada, an evening of exhibition, a Pan concert, a rum runner cruise, a dinner and award ceremony, and a cookout on the beach. Celebrations will continue throughout the year. Depo, thank you once again.
Okay, Sarah, good luck.
All right, let's go live now to the... I don't know if you say the Roy St. John Netball Complex, or you just say Roy St. John when it's related to the playing field, but it's the netball courts and the bomb competition for a little bit of Angel Harps doing Michael Jackson's Thriller, and then we tried to chat with Rayful Crony. Okay, let's try Angel Harps again. day of the Republic Bank Angel Obsted Orchestra playing the Bomb Tune competition a few years ago at the Tontine Netball Courts, playing Michael Jackson's Thriller. All right, well, let's talk cricket now. And you know that Devon Smith, the Grenadian opening batsman, who has been having a love-hate relationship with this West Indies team, is now back in love with the West Indies team, has been recalled. And he says he has changed his batting technique a bit and hopes that this will bring him a flourish of runs. And so he'd really make a stamp on his legacy as far as him being a part of this West Indies team. Well, he started that process by slamming a good 174 retired out in the West Indies game against the South African Invitation 11. West Indies in that game scoring 508 runs. Marlon Samuels, who he had a good partnership with, ended up with 203. So the question is Devon Smith really now and in a place now to make a great impact on this West Indies team, to leave a great legacy with the few years that he has on playing as an opening batsman? We suspect that he'll be opening with Craig Brathwaite. There's no reason why he should not be on that first 11. Well, an opening batsman himself, former a rifle crony, sports officer, and a cricket fanatic like myself, is on the line in Grenada, and we'll chat a bit about Devon Smith. Good morning, Rifle. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Good morning, Harold, and very good morning to listeners wherever you are this morning. Pleasant good morning.
Okay. So his recall to this West Indies team, and we know he's been having that love-hate relationship with this team, and scored a lot of runs in regional tournament. Remember one time he scored, 216 not out, or out in Progress Park against Guyana. And then he was on the West Indies team, did not do as much as we anticipated. Now he's called again. He's in his 30s right now. Do you think he's really placed right now to really make that impression on this West Indies team? I mean, when he started, we said the new Roy Fredericks is on the team. He made that, 60-odd runs in Guyana. And then we thought that, yes, we finally found someone now to become a great West Indian player. So is he placed now to make a great impression on this West Indies team, Devon Smith?
Well, let me look at it this way, Harold. I think, first of all, one must admit that he warrants his position in terms of being called back on the West Indies team. I think up to this point in time, he has led in terms of the runs scored for the season. I think he had 334 runs, and he really is out front in terms of the runs. So I think from a batting point of view, really and truly, when you look at what has happened in the region, real batsmen, Devon Smith certainly warrants his call back on the West Indies team. Now, as you rightly said, he has been there before, and certainly has not produced the sort of result that we expect. Here it is again. It's another opportunity for him, and I think, really, in my view, he's experienced. He has been there before. The runs that he scored in that first game that he played down in South Africa, again, would give him all the confidence that he needs. In my view, he's just ready. I think he should be confident enough going into the Test series. And one would hope that this time, certainly, he will turn around in terms of making runs. Whether or not he's ready, again, it's left to be seen. What I can say, certainly based on what is happening at the regional tournament, he has shown that he really is ready to go to the next level. And now he will have to produce the goods at the next level. My only concern, Harold, I think that Devon does not have a concentration problem. As we have seen, he has been batting for long periods of time. Whether it's in a regional tournament, he has just gone out there to South Africa, but pretty long. So I think there's no issue in terms of the concentration and being able to bat for a long period of time. But I think the mental part of it, to me, is the issue. Now we are coming up against international players at a very high level. You have to be strong mentally, because what you find in the Test arena, when you look at teams like Australia, you look at teams like South Africa, but even England, these guys are, you have to be mentally strong. They think the game. They have been able to analyze who, when you reach at that level, you have to be very strong mentally to make it. And if you ask me, I think that's my only concern.
He said that his technique has changed somewhat and he's more confident now? Because I know he always had some problems with the ball pitched up, moving away from the left-hander. Have you seen that change in him?
Well, not really. I mean, I've seen him against the Leewards there, and to me, his technique has always been good. Obviously, there's no perfect batsman with perfect technique, so probably there was a little flaw just outside it. But generally, he technically looks sound, and when you compare him with the opening batsman in the region, and that's including even Chris Gale, technically he looked the part, he looks sound. I'm not sure I'm seeing any major difference in terms of his technique, but because I believe that really his technique haven't been really a major problem, as when you look at the other batsmen and what is happening. He, to me, has a technique that is above many of the batsmen that even playing at international level. He has a very good technique. So I'm not so concerned in terms of the technique that he has, because I know he has a good technique. And what I've seen of him last 2 weeks when he played here in Grenada, to me, he still looked the part.
Oh, okay, wonderful. But the opportunity now more than ever is for him to really cement that place and really create that legacy for himself, which I think he deserves to create, but it's all left up to him.
Yeah, I think so. You see, one of the things, if we look back at some of the series he would have played, and this is why I speak very highly of the mental part of it. Now, against England, in the West Indies, he was scored 100 in his first test in Jamaica. And what happened after that, he failed for the rest of the series. He went to Australia, he was scored 88 in his first test. And then the rest of the series, he didn't do well. What you find happening at that level now, these players have been able to, as I said before, analyze play, able to walk you out. And therefore, you have to be strong, because you come in against one team for, let's say, 3 or 5 tests. You know, the difference when you play in a regional tournament, you face different bowlers, different wickets, different venue. But here it is that you're playing against one team for probably 5 tests, or maybe 3 tests as the case may be. So there's time that they're going to walk you out. And
in my head, you're saying all of that, and in my head I'm seeing Dale Steyn.
That's right. So these guys is going to walk you out. You might come do well in the first one, but they're going to come at you. You have to be strong mentally to be able to fight back, to really deal with those guys. And to me, that is where I figure the flaw is. And I think I'm only hopeful that this time around that he going to work it out. You know, we're coming up against a powerful bowling attack. So, but he's confident. In my view, he's confident what he has done. He has demonstrated tremendous confidence, and therefore, I think with this last move, he should be going out there all day to really put his head down and turn the tide.
Okay, well, quickly, Rayful, I'm sure you've heard this question a million times. This West Indies team that's in South Africa, do we have a chance of beating South Africa? The big answer may be no, but we should put up a good fight at least to leave an impression. The woeful state of West Indies cricket right now, dire straits that West Indies cricket is in right now. What bright stars or bright comments can you make of this West Indies team totally?
Well, let me say this, that when you look at the West Indies team playing and you look at our record, obviously it's not good. We are probably still ranked about 8, somewhere 7, 8 down there. We have not been playing well. We have just came off a chaotic tour in India. And certainly we're going now to face the number 1 testing playing team in the world. It will be a tough task, but I tell you what, when you could find a team that is knitted together and playing as a unit, despite the opposition might be strong, but importantly the team must play as a unit. If you're going to play as a unit, you're going to find that the pieces coming together, everybody working together, and that's important. The team has to play as a unit. Now, it also gives some of the young players a very good opportunity to excel. If you ask me, the team is certainly right off in terms of beating South Africa. So, in my view, they're going to be no added pressure, because obviously the pundits, the region would think that the West Indies have no chance. So they should have go there and play freely. they have to go there and play positively. They had to go there and play as a team. And as I say, the young players, some of the new players that have the opportunity, with no pressure, they had to just go there and play cricket and enjoy themselves. And hopefully, we're going to see some stars coming forth. We're going to put some pressure on South Africa. But key, that unit, that team, we had to play as. And I believe that we just have to be strong and really play that game tactically well. And playing as a team, tactically you're playing well with your plan. I still think that we can turn things around. We can surprise people by the way we perform.
Okay, all right. Well, you're a church-going person, Rayful, and I'm sure you'll be praying a lot.
Yes, I hope, and still, I still think that, something good is going to come out of the tour. We had to put what would have happened behind us. And as I say, these players have a beautiful opportunity because they come good. I would think that it would be an indication of the guys West Indies team looking to rise from there.
Rayful Crowney, former opening batsman, talking about Devon Smith and West Indies cricket. Rayful, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
All right.
And all the shades sparkling in the sky.
Well, Calypso icon Calypso Rose was bestowed an honorary doctorate by the University of the West Indies a few weeks ago in Trinidad.
Eyes lit up.
And Calypso Rose will be celebrated in Brooklyn, New York, coming up.
Under the distinguished patronage of Radharati Namram Ghulam, Consulate General of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, you are invited to a Christmas tribute to Calypso Rose in celebration of her honored doctorate awarded by the University of the West Indies, Sunday, December 21st, 2014 at 4 p.m. sharp at Brooklyn Christian Center, 1061 Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn, between Franklin and Classen Avenues, with a special live performance from Dr. Calypso Rose, also featuring Blackman, Janice Charles, Lady Samo, dance performance by Iriana Butler, and poetry by Zayed Garaway. Also, Ujama Pan Sounds, hats, fashion parade, and more. MCs Harold Pysadee and Gus White. Special guest Dave Elcock. Admission $25. Advance tickets only. For tickets and information, call 917-662-5962. That's a Christmas tribute to Calypso Rose. Sunday, December 21st, 2014 at 4 p.m. sharp, Brooklyn Christian Center. Produced by DV International. It will be great.
And that's a wrap, folks. Join me again, same time next Saturday for another program. Harold Pysadee in New York. Have a blessed week.
To a vegetable stall at the marketplace. That's where the sun